audit could be on daily circulation, from hustle to hardship. Now, friends, and ladies and gentlemen, riding again on the protocols already established, my twin sister, you are very free to leave. I think you should have ended by saying, rather than asking them to give you the responsibility, use the plural, give us. Because we are a team. A very good afternoon. I had come late because I'd asked Dr. Makali Mulu, and I'm happy that our speakers have quoted their wonderful remarks. Allow me to place some of these things on record, because I consider this so historic, so important, that indeed it is an occasion for both celebration of a combination, as we heard from Brian, of imagination and bravery. Let me begin by thanking Tisha and the Okoa Uchumi campaign. I don't blame Mother. We were in Okoa, Kenya together. We continue to go Okoa, Kenya, but this time we are changing tact. It is liberation time. It is Ukombozi time. We're going beyond Kuokoa to Kukomboa. And all the partners, including our development partners, who have made it today possible. Your presence here speaks to the weight of this moment for our country. I also want to appreciate the speakers who have guided us through the key issues raised in this report. Makali Mulu, again, you're there to receive it on me. I can't wait to get a copy and go through it. Their insights remind us that Kenya stands at a crossroads, and the choices we make now will determine the future we hand over to our children. I also want to say, friends, that today is not just another event on the national calendar. It is a moment of collective reflection on the state of our republic. The People's Audit lays bare a reality Kenyans have been feeling for far too long. Something is deeply wrong with how our public finances are being handled. And with the IMF's governance and corruption diagnostic on the horizon, this report is a timely reminder that we must scrutinize ourselves before others do it for us. I therefore commend TISA, Okoa Uchumi, and all partners behind this effort. You have given the country a factual and varnished picture of what is happening and what must change. This report does not just speak in numbers. It captures the day-to-day struggles of Kenyans whose lives are being shaped and in many cases strained by poor governance. Ladies and gentlemen, our public debt has now surpassed, as we heard from Mheshimiwa Ndindi Nyoro, 12 trillion. 12.5 trillion. That figure is not abstract. It affects families, businesses, counties, and the very foundation of our development agenda. But the real issue is not only the size of the debt, it is how we got here. I want to dare suggest we got here through unquestionable and corrupt decisions, through unnecessary and reckless borrowing, through sheer incompetence, inflated or abandoned projects, and through weakening of the very institutions meant to safeguard the public purse. We've heard of the state capture of parliament. I'm personally so happy to see this wonderful, almost like to call you remnant, the remnant of Sita 13th Parliament. Ndindi, so refreshing to hear you. And Karole Omondi, so refreshing to hear you. Even you have dug deep into the history of Safaricom itself. And Makali Mulu, you see, if you rise to the occasion as my sister has suggested, you will be able to save this nation and make it different. And you know we are there with you. Ndindi Nyoro, I said in Bondo the day before yesterday, I'm just about to speak it out, so at least it okay. It need to so that a country will know. And you're almost there, because the chair of the budget committee, of course I'm not quite sure he's still there, but you've done a good job as member for Kiharu for sure. But now you have to do the extra thing. Bring it out, because then that will torpedo you to the next level. We all know where we have come from. And now we are witnessing a dangerous trend. The rushed sale of attempted sale of critical national infrastructure and strategic assets. Here I'm referring to Safaricom, and we have all heard about Safaricom. The JKI, which we were able to stop in court. Kenya Pipeline, among others, done without transparency, without public participation, and without any regard for the Constitution. Let me say this clearly and without hesitation. This is truly unacceptable. It is unconstitutional, and it will not stand. And we will not allow it to stand. So come out. Some of us are as simple as you see us. When we say it, we say it. And let me also be crystal clear. Countries do not prosper by selling their inheritance. They prosper by protecting it. Kenya will not become the Singapore, quote in quote, imagined by the current regime if that entrepreneurship and rotobotomish continues and is left unchecked. You cannot auction off to yourself what belongs to the people. Singapore was built on order, on discipline, on accountability, and a fierce intolerance for corruption, not the chaos, the carelessness, and the impunity we are witnessing today. I hope that those who are talking about Singapore will have read in some detail the wonderful action, writing by Lee Kuan Yew, the Prime Minister of Singapore, who was there to shape a nation that moved to become what Singapore